Hello kind people of YouTube and welcome back to another video. We have a lot of news to get through today, so let's get started. You might notice something different from my usual videos. For the foreseeable future, I am switching over to using Forbes crypto markets for the market cap data when I talk about the markets in the beginning of my videos. Now, I don't know how permanent this will be. I have some issues with how they do stuff on here. For starters, you cannot see the total market cap and the Bitcoin dominance and the daily market volume anywhere on the main page here. That is a bit of an issue for me. But the reason I did this is among a lot of discussion that I also took part in about the place of XRP in the crypto markets. One thing that came up over and over again is that XRP's market cap has very different numbers depending on where you check. And there are two camps in this. And the reason is that you can choose to either count XRP's market cap as, and if you go in the XRP page here, should be on the information here. Generally, to achieve the market cap, you look at the circulating supply and then multiply that by the token price. Now for XRP, you have an issue because how you define circulating supply changes which number you receive in the end greatly. The difference is pretty staggering because on CoinMarketCap, XRP currently has a market cap of, I believe, around 14 or 15 billion US dollars. Now look here. 34 billion. Now that difference is due to CoinMarketCap looking at the circulating supply as coins that exist but are not locked in escrow. And if you know anything about XRP and about Ripple, the company behind XRP, you likely know that they have roughly 60% of the total supply locked in escrow. Now you can definitely make arguments for whether this should or should not be counted in the circulating supply. But I have chosen for now to switch over to Forbes here, which counts all of that. They count 99.991 billion XRP in supply. So ultimately the difference is just which of these they count. The price data is very similar. But I decided to switch over to this because in the crypto world, this is a very controversial issue. I do think there are arguments to be made for both sides for counting only the 40-odd million that CoinMarketCap is counting, or for counting the 99 billion that Forbes is counting. But the way I look at it, Forbes is likely going to become, at least as it stands right now, the one that professional investors look at, because it is actually associated with Forbes, the famous financial magazine, while CoinMarketCap is a website that that has been in one too many controversies. If you remember a while ago, there was another controversy, once again surrounding how they dealt with XRP. When the XRP price was going up significantly in Korea, they decided, without telling anyone in advance, to just remove the Korean exchanges where XRP had a higher price. And with that, they lowered the XRP price on CoinMarketCap, and they lowered the daily volume of XRP. Additionally, they also do not count anything on the XRP ledger as part of their data, which is not a huge part of the XRP being moved, but it is significant. So they have been in a lot of controversies, most of them around how they treat XRP. So I figured I would from now on go with a professional source that is directed at mainstream investors, at institutional investors. So I'm from now on going to use the Forbes market cap page at forbescrypto.com. That isn't to say that CoinMarketCap is necessarily wrong to be doing it the way they are, but this all plays a bit too much into a narrative for me, a media narrative that is going on in the crypto media, to push XRP down any way possible. Now, I do think you can make a valid argument for counting the 40 billion for market cap, but that then needs to be consistent, and you then need to lower the market cap for pretty much every other major coin. For instance, we know that a large amount of Bitcoin are either locked away or have been destroyed or lost. Those would also have to be included, but nobody is doing that for Bitcoin. That is unequal treatment of XRP. if you're going to only count a real circulating supply, only coins that are currently on the market and that are actively available and being moved, then you have to do that for every coin. CoinMarketCap is not currently doing that. So for now, I'm going with Forbes. Don't know how permanent this will be. I might switch to yet another page in the future. But for now, this seems like the fairest option. But yeah, that was longer than I wanted it to be. But I wanted some transparency. I wanted to let you guys know why I'm switching over here. That's just this just seems like an altogether better option. But like I said, I do also have issues with the Forbes page. For starters, the lack of a total market cap anywhere on the main page, the lack of total daily trading volume for all cryptocurrencies on the front page. They also have some significantly different numbers. For instance, Tether here is at $1.03. I believe on CoinMarketCap it is still under $1, or ever slightly under $1. And notably also Bitcoin Cash SV completely missing. They do not seem to be counting that as a separate coin. So I do have some issues with this. But ultimately, the problems with XRP on CoinMarketCap and all the tomfoolery around XRP that has been going on there, that very much, I don't want to imply any intent where it might not be there. They might genuinely just think that is a fairer way to look at it, but it looks a bit too much like it plays into the mainstream crypto media narrative that tries to push XRP down any way they can. And one notable thing there is that if you're going by the numbers that Forbes goes by, XRP was actually briefly number 1. And a lot of people are mad that accordingly on CoinMarketCap it of course was not number 1. On CoinMarketCap it was number 2. But either way, for now we're going with this data. The only real difference is the total market cap for XRP. Most other things are more or less the same here. But yeah, that's it. Looking at the actual markets today, it's just a bit more of a slide. There's nothing all that extraordinary to talk about here. Nothing that we won't talk about in detail in the upcoming articles. So let's look at the actual articles, shall we? And this is just some more about the CoinMarketCap Ripple XRP situation. Just some statements from CoinMarketCap and from some people surrounding Ripple. So let's read this. As always, the articles will be linked in the description for you to check out yourself. The XRP and CoinMarketCap saga has taken a new turn with the cryptocurrency listing website revealing a new development on XRP's circulating supply. CoinMarketCap had tweeted, and I quote, "The circulating supply data we are reporting for XRP is directly from the Ripple network stats. The distributed portion of the XRP supply is what is currently in circulation. The undistributed portion of XRP is not circulating as indicated by Ripple." And now, they did something very intelligent here, because, yes, technically you can get that data from their network stats. But the thing is, network stats usually have a variety of information, and you can essentially pick and choose which numbers you want from them. So they will certainly have a total XRP supply number as well that they could be using. That's the thing. If you don't, like, one basic thing about how a lot of software products nowadays, especially web products that have to interface with each other, work, is that databases. Say Ripple has a database about the XRP blockchain and the supply of the tokens. Now, some websites would like to use some information about that, so Ripple then offers limited access to the database. Usually that's read-only access, through which they get some information, and that is usually just a lot of raw numbers. There might be the total number of available XRP there. There might be the supply that is currently locked in escrow. There might be the current market movements. There might be the current the transactions on the XRP ledger. Just a bunch of information that is made available for anyone who needs to use it for, say, a market cap website. But then just saying that you're getting your data from Ripple, that doesn't mean anything, because I'm sure they provide a variety of data and you pick and choose which ones of those you want to use. But this is smart. This way they make themselves look like they're just reporting what Ripple tells them. That's not quite true. They still pick and choose which numbers they want to use in which way. Continuing on with the article. The latest release by CoinMarketCap comes after research by the company that took into account the general XRP circulating supply displayed on the website. CoinMarketCap has also given out a list of code snippets that show the charts considering the XRP in the distributed portion of the circulating supply and not the undistributed portions. XRPs are not mined like Bitcoin, so all the XRPs present were brought into existence from the point of creation of the XRP ledger. The claim comes after multiple reports of XRP circulating supply being manipulated online. The initial issue was about CoinMarketCap not considering the XRP in escrow. Even after the latest update from CoinMarketCap, users were still aghast about the previous accusations and comments, and we don't need to read these tweets, but at the end we have a statement from David Schwartz, who is the CTO of Ripple, and he said, I don't really have strong feelings either way. It is hard to figure out how to be fair in all these different cases. But it is weird that XRP winds up getting penalized in many ways for its transparency, with people assuming the best imaginable about what they do not know. It seems like he wanted to say the worst, but I'm not going to question the quote here. But this also is a very interesting and very intelligent quote. You can tell both the CoinMarketCap people and Schwartz here know exactly how to talk to the media, how to make public statements that can be read in a variety of ways that say exactly what you want them to communicate without ever openly having to say it. Now here he says he doesn't have strong feelings either way, but it's clear from this latter part that he does. And of course, if he were to come out and openly say CoinMarketCap goofed up here, I think they are manipulating the volume, not the volume, I think they're manipulating the market cap, I think they're trying to push XRP down. That could potentially backfire on Schwartz in a million ways, and by extension on Ripple and the XRP token. He is smart enough not to say anything like that. Instead, he claims that he doesn't care, but then he makes it pretty clear that he does. And of course, what he is getting at here is that penalized for its transparency, a lot of coins have a certain amount of them locked up in escrow, have companies holding a certain amount of it, and sometimes you don't know exactly how many, you don't know exactly who's holding them, you don't know exactly for which purpose. Ripple is completely transparent about how many they have, how they are released, when they are released, how many are being put back. We get those information every single month, because every month, usually 1 billion are released out of escrow, and then roughly an equal amount is put back in. Sometimes individual ones are released onto the markets or are used for a specific purpose. And very intelligent statement here. He clearly does care. He would definitely prefer for the XRP market cap to stand at 40-odd billion, not 10-odd billion. But like I said, there would theoretically, you can definitely make an argument for not counting all the coins in escrow, because they're not really circulating. You can only release 1/60th of those a month, so you can make an argument for excluding them, and that would be a valid argument. But the thing is, there is no consistency here. And if you don't consistently apply that same standard to all other coins, there's a problem. And like I said, I don't want to imply bad intentions here, but it is not looking good. Like there is definitely a double standard here, a way in which XRP is treated that other coins do not see. Because for essentially none of the coins you see in the on CoinMarketCap, none of the top 10 or top 20 coins, the total supply, or even what they show as the circulating supply, is pretty much never the actual circulating supply. A lot of coins are always locked up in various reasons. A lot of them might have been destroyed. A lot of them, well, not technically destroyed because they haven't been burned, but a lot of them might have been destroyed in a physical way, in which meaning that nobody can access them anymore. They are sitting on a wallet that no one has a password for. They are sitting on all the information to get them were on a hard drive that was destroyed, stuff like that. So you either try to get the best estimates of real circulating supply for all coins, or you do it for no coins. And it seems telling that for XRP, they made the decision. That was a decision that someone had to make, to exclude what they didn't consider to be part of the circulating supply, while that isn't really being done to other coins. And that it does seem like a potential attack on XRP, and I don't want to imply that anyone isn't working under anything but the best intentions here. But there might just be an oversight, and in that case, fix it. Fix it. Some more ridiculous statements. A former Israeli PM calls crypto a Ponzi scheme. Ehud Barak, I probably mispronounced that, I'm very sorry. A former Israeli prime minister has compared digital currencies to Ponzi schemes. Barak had participated in the Camp David Accords in 2000 as part of an attempt to solve the Israeli-Palestine conflict, and now serves as the chairman of medical marijuana producer Intercure. Speaking at an event hosted by Israeli financial outlet Globes in Tel Aviv this Sunday, Barak fielded a question comparing the alleged wheat investment bubble to crypto by underlining that he would never invest in cryptocurrencies as, and his quote, "Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are a Ponzi scheme? Really?" Meanwhile, I just went way too far down, I'm sorry, I have to find my way back here. Meanwhile, Barak underlined that blockchain technology and smart contracts are important and useful technological and mathematical concepts, noting, "Anyone who has patience and understands the depth of blockchain will find many uses from holding sensitive medical information to smart contracts." Now, we don't really have to read the rest of this because it's not actually about him anymore. The interesting thing about this is we've seen a lot of people make similar statements about cryptocurrencies, especially a lot of former politicians or even current politicians. A lot of them take a quick look and they go to something like a Ponzi scheme, which cryptocurrencies are. You can easily prove that they're not a Ponzi scheme. That is simply a false statement. There is no argument you can make for this. There are almost certainly individual cryptocurrencies which are a Ponzi scheme, but absolutely none of the major well-established cryptocurrencies qualify by any real definition. So this is simply a falsehood, and he should probably be embarrassed for saying something like that openly and publicly. But what is interesting here is that usually we get those statements from people who are completely uninformed and have no idea what they're talking about. But here he actually shows a bit of an understanding of blockchain, so I'm just baffled how he would see the potential in blockchain, but then be so uninformed about cryptocurrencies to paint them all in the same brush as Ponzi schemes. That is pretty embarrassing and just baffling. I honestly don't get it. I honestly don't get it. But let's continue on. Now, EOS is trying to decentralize further and further, and in the past, I have spoken positively about that effort. But there might be some issues now, and this article goes into detail. The EOS network is decentralized until it is not. A block producer for the EOS blockchain has publicly engaged in a money for vote activity. Start EOS, as the node is called, announced that delegating its node as a proxy would allow users to earn a stable income in EOS tokens. As the node is originally a game launch on the top of the EOS blockchain, it also offered its potential delegates the corresponding amount of general game tokens, which they can use to play Lucky Food slot machine and again receive revenue in EOS tokens. The whole advertisement appears in contrast to what EOS promised in its original white paper, an easily scalable and decentralized and democratic blockchain network. However, the project has faced criticism for limiting the rights to add blocks to only 21 nodes. Each of these nodes is selected upon a democratic voting process. In a way, the reason why a transaction on an EOS blockchain should appear faster than others is that it doesn't have to be confirmed by the entire network. And generally, this is generally a sound system because the idea is that they are essentially elected representatives in much the same way that you would have in a representative democracy. The problem now is that someone is selling off their votes. Someone is selling off the power that being an elected official gives, and this is essentially like accepting a bribe. And that, of course, shouldn't happen, and it definitely shouldn't be possible for this to happen openly. Now, EOS needs to deal with this in some way, maybe with an addition to their constitution that does not allow this, but as it stands, this is a major weakness in their system. I definitely think there are ways to fix this, but this money for vote activity, this undermines everything that EOS is supposed to stand for. And in general, it is a smart idea to have these delegated 21 block producers who are voted on, who are democratically elected, and who then get some benefits for doing some of that important work. That is generally a good idea. But just as you have anti-corruption laws in most countries, and just as politicians who are caught taking bribes usually face consequences, EOS needs to figure out a way to make that happen on their system. Because as it stands, people can buy themselves power on the network, and that is dangerous. That is dangerous. Now, I'm a strong supporter of EOS in general, but this is a real issue. And hear this from me as a supporter. I'm not I'm not here to attack EOS. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you know I'm not against EOS. I think there is an insane amount of potential in the EOS network. I think they have a very, very, very good chance of becoming one of, if not the leading platforms for decentralized apps in the future. But this is an issue that needs solving desperately, and I hope they come up with a good solution. And last but not least, Binance is getting ready its decentralized exchange, and they just released a new video demo, so let's look at this article at some details. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange by adjusted trading volume, has released a new video demo of its decentralized exchange dubbed Binance DEX ahead of its launch in early 2019. Released on Wednesday, the video demonstrates the trading interface of Binance DEX, along with a web crypto wallet and the explorer for Binance's native public blockchain, Binance Chain, which the firm says will be made available on a testnet soon. Based on the video, Binance DEX will have a very similar interface to its existing centralized exchange, with some additional features. For example, it includes an option to generate a 24-word seed phrase for users' private keys, a balances tab to inform users of the status of their accounts, and a user icon in the navigation bar that shows individual wallet addresses. With the Blockchain Explorer, users can search for an individual block and view transactions included in a particular block, the demo explains. And I don't think we need to read the rest of this, but this is a very interesting movement in my opinion. Binance, who are of course one of the biggest centralized exchanges currently, getting ready an alternate decentralized exchange that is running using their Binance Coin token. Now, the Binance Coin token has seen significant market movement as a result of this news. I'm trying to find it here. Here, Binance Coin is now the number 15 cryptocurrency with a market cap of $563 million, $500 million. And if we're looking at like the weekly here, we see it went from trading in the low $5 region to trading in the $6 region. I think Binance Coin might be one to watch in the future and to look at much more closely, because they have found real use cases for it now. If you've been on Binance for a while, they also have a very nifty feature involving the token there, where you can add a lowered fee. I don't remember if it's a lowered fee or no fees at all. I think it's a lowered fee. You can convert all your small crypto holdings, altcoin holdings, into Binance Coin easily, quickly, cheaply. That is a very nifty feature that was an innovation in the exchange market. So they find very interesting use cases for their own proprietary coin, and I think a lot of us laughed when it was first announced, because it just seems so crazy, but they seem to be finding very, very interesting and relevant use cases for it, and now it is being fully integrated into this as well. I think Binance in general and Binance Coin in particular are definitely ones to watch. And with this, I'm ending today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Any comments you might have, leave them in the description. I don't always get around to responding to everyone, but I do try to read everything. If you like this video and you're not subscribed yet, you should change that. If you are subscribed and you really like my videos, there are ways to support me in the description. In the description, you'll also find the links to all these articles, as well as to my social media pages. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with another video tomorrow.